Welcome to a Delco Nerd Network Hot Take. Guys, if you haven't seen a hot take before, well, it's where a few friends get in a basement, give our thoughts, give our opinions on a TV show, a movie, or game. Today, it's going to be a TV show, and that TV show is Dexter, New Blood. The actual final season to the hit Stars show?
No, Showtime.
Showtime show.
Dexter.
So, I didn't watch this. I've never seen Dexter. I know little to next to nothing about Dexter, but obviously my co-host Chris Trio has.
I'm a big fan. I watched all 7 seasons. I mean, I don't think it's like a hidden fact that a lot of people were disappointed with that.
I was like, if anything
season.
I know about Dexter is that last
That's what you hear
season
all the time.
Is trash.
I mean, the last 3 are kind of trash, if I'm going to be honest. Like, once it gets past the Trinity Killer, and I think that's season 4, it really kind of starts to go downhill, and there's just some odd story choices when it comes to Deb, like his sister, and the choices Dexter makes. But
so here's the question.
Yeah.
Was this season worth the time and the effort to kind of like culminate the story?
I think so, yes.
Okay.
I think it really,
that's good.
I will say, like, this
How
is
many episodes was it?
10.
Okay.
This was the season, the final season we all wanted. We wanted Dexter to get full. Let's go. I'm going to say full spoilers here, just to give it a heads up, especially for the season 1 through 7. But like, it just felt very incomplete at the end. Like, Dexter tried to kill himself, but he lived, and then he took that as a thing to go live out in the mountains somewhere. And then, like, he gives his son to this girl Hannah, who is a serial killer too, but she's kind of not as bad as him. So he's like, you'll be better with Hannah. And this picks up 10 years after the original series. Dexter is living in...
Is it actually 10 years after?
It is. I think it's literally... It's in real time and in... So we're in Iron Lake, New York, up in like northern New York. Like, it's very snowy. The environment was definitely a big change. I mean, you go from sunny Miami with all the, like, I don't know, just Latin flair, whatever you want to say. Like, it's really cool, to like this more like tight-knit mountain town where Dexter has apparently just been laying low for the last 10 years, not killing anyone. He's been trying to keep his dark passenger at bay, as he calls it. And like, he kind of still has Deb in his mind as like this kind of mind person, or what, I don't even know how to, like, they kind of do it with his dad in the first seasons. And like, he's kind of having these inner monologues with her. And this is basically just about how Harrison comes to see his dad. That's his son's name.
Harrison's his son.
Yeah. And he's like wondering what the fuck happened. And you see throughout the series, Dexter's trying to see if like he has the same kind of dark urges and tendencies that Dexter has. And throughout the episodes, you see that he kind of does. He was affected in the exact same way. When Dexter was young, his mom was cut up into pieces in front of him with a chainsaw when he was 5.
Oh.
Yeah. So that's why
trauma.
and then Harry, his father, taught him the code of Harry, which was like he kind of recognized that he was having these like sociopathic tendencies or psychopathic tendencies. And he's like, all right, well, we're going to direct this in a good way. You're only going to use this to kill bad people, and you're going to do that through this code that I'm giving you. You have to vigorously you have to be sure this person is guilty. They have to be guilty and have gotten free of a crime, and that's why he becomes like the blood spatter analyst and all that stuff. And it's really well done. But in this, you couldn't have made this story then unless you did a literal time jump, which I think you maybe could have, and you maybe could have just gotten an older person to play Harrison and all that, but like...
Well, no, they didn't do that, right? They brought the actor back?
Well, no, so I think it is a new actor. Like, I don't know who plays, like, because he's 5 in the, I think, or like 6. He's really young when the original series ends. And like,
really? They didn't get that actor back?
Maybe they did. I don't know if it's the same actor, but the guy they got to play him is so good. Okay. He is like, you would believe that they are father and son. Even the way they kind of have the same like tendencies and all that stuff, and like the mannerisms and things like that. He's really well done. I can't remember the kid's name who plays him, but he was one of the best parts of this. But like, so he's on our link. He's living up. He works at like a gun shop, and he's just kind of doing his thing. And then he ends up killing someone again. And that's the same night that Harrison shows up. And he's like, the whole reason he left Harrison was that he felt like everyone around him, no matter what, he ended up dying or being hurt in some way. So he's like, all right, I'm not going to raise Harrison because I'll only cause issues in his life. And this whole season just kind of hammers that home. Because, like, you know, you kind of feel like Dexter's kind of a good guy. Like he's only killing bad dudes. Sure, he cuts them into little pieces and then dumps their bodies.
As a watcher, you're kind of like, oh, I hope Dexter doesn't get caught.
Kind of, but I feel like they did a good job
when the guy
in this last
that comes up and he says, "Surprise, motherfucker!" You're like, I hope
Dokes dies. Yeah, but like he is a serial killer. He is an absolute sure he's killing bad guys, but at the end of the day, he's chopping them into tiny little pieces. And one thing they never did in those old shows was show him doing it, like show him actually sawing.
That was one of the questions I was going to have. Does the show actually maintain its like production quality?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Or does the new season actually do more than what the old seasons did?
I think it's I think it's up to today's production quality. Absolutely.
Right, but like,
and I think it feels like
the same tone and vibe
to a degree, but I think it's different because of this, like the setting is a major shift.
Okay.
And I think that's felt, but in a way that's recognized, and they know that. And like, I mean, in the old series, it was kind of week to week, he'd be killing people and like he'd have new targets and all that stuff. This is more about him just kind of like.
So it was like a villain of the week kind
somewhat,
of thing?
yeah. And then they'd have like their kind of main arc throughout like the whole this season. But yeah, you kind of get to think, you're like, Dexter's a cool guy. He's nice. He's doing the best with what he's got. But throughout this season, they kind of make you realize, like, no, he's a serial killer. Like, he is not real. Like, he kind of thinks he's doing the right thing, and he thinks he's doing what's best. And
he's still killing.
He's still killing people, and he's doing it because he wants to kill people. That's it's not like he kind of says it's for justice. It's kind of like that Walter White thing. Why are you doing this? It's for you. It's for you. And then by the end, he's kind of like, it's for me.
Yeah,
He Harrison starts to see that Harrison is displaying these kind of same tendencies that he did, and he's like, and he comes clean with him and tells him why he left and why he changed. So he changed his name and everything. He faked his death, and like the town doesn't know this and all that stuff.
So at the end, but the end of the season, he doesn't actually die.
At the end of which, the original,
ending.
Yeah, he doesn't. He like sails off into a storm, and then he somehow survives like a hurricane.
So it wasn't the failed attempted suicide thing that you were talking, or that was the failed attempted suicide.
Yeah, that was his. He was trying to like he kind of explains it because a little bit into he's going out with like the chief of police at in the town, and she kind of starts getting wise because he trips up. He
in the new season or the
new season, okay. Yeah. And like he starts to trip up.
Why the fuck would he do that?
Well, because he wasn't. The idea is he moved to this small town. No one knew who Dexter Morgan was. He just was trying to fit in, and he hadn't killed anyone in 10 years. But he met this guy Matt Caldwell, who is just a piece of shit, and he kind of let his anger get the best of him. So he ends up killing him. And then his father, Kurt Caldwell, is kind of the main baddie of the season, who is also another serial killer that's been living in the town for 25 years and basically killing runaways as they'd come through the town. And he was kind of just as like, and it's kind of this back and forth between him, and he tries to kill Harrison because he killed his son, and he figures it out. But that's what's his name, Clancy Brown.
Oh, is he in it?
He's the main bad guy.
Oh, that's sick.
He's so good.
That's so cool.
He was really amazing.
I feel like Clancy Brown gets a lot of like side roles, not a lot of main roles, especially in actual acting. So that's cool.
He was awesome. He really was. He was a great kind of villain and bad guy, and yeah. So throughout just this season, you just start to realize you're like, man, he's not good, and they kind of drive it home by the end. Like, so by the end, he kills Kurt because and like Clancy Harrison, Brown. Yeah, and Harrison's with him. Because he's teaching him the code.
So now they like
now he's like we can be together, we're both like each other. But the thing is with Harrison, like he has those issues, like he breaks the dude's arm at one point in the season, and then he also frames a guy for being a mass shooter to like basically slice him. Yeah. So there's this one kid that he like becomes friends with when he moves to town, and like he starts showing him these pictures of how he like wants to kill everyone at school. So then nice. Harrison.
So they're high school.
Yeah, and Harrison like kind of uses that as like a way he tries to kill him like in school and tries to set it up like he's like, oh well, he just told me he was gonna shoot up the whole school, and when I tried to get away he attacked me, so I sliced him. But Dexter's like
he cut his throat.
He cuts like his leg like almost next to his he survives, the kid, but like he's pinned, like he looks like he was planning a mass shooting.
But he was.
But it seems like he was just having like, he doesn't necessarily like
he's
having these thoughts.
Pushed it up a step.
He did, yeah. Okay. So like, and then Harrison and then Dexter's like, I saw the blood spatter. What you said didn't happen. Like this would not happen. Like this is not how this would be laid out if you killed him or you attacked him in a defensive way. And like this whole time, Harrison's kind of like, fuck you, Dad. Like, this is ridiculous. Like, he's being very defensive. And you see this kind of just unraveling of him to a degree, just because, you know, he wants his dad to love him at the end of the day. And I thought like that kind of dichotomy works very well. And Michael C. Hall, man, chef's kiss. Like, this was truly like...
What's he been in since Dexter?
Not a lot. He was in Gamer. He was the bad guy in that with Gerard Butler or whatever. Yeah. Like, you remember that? You remember the weird dancing scene with him in it? It's so odd. I would have loved... a couple years ago, I think him as Reverse Flash would have been amazing. But...
hey, man. He could be in the Flash.
Oh, he could. But yeah, so we get to the end, and they finally kill Kurt. And Harrison's there with him. And for the first time ever in the series, you see Dexter chopping the body up.
Okay.
You see him actually cutting in. And I was like, oh, like, yeah, they never show. Usually they'd kind of give you like they'd look at him and then they'd plunge it and there would be like a blood splatter or something. Like, they would never show him actually dismembering the body. So like it was these kind of things of like, it's just kind of slowly realizing like, oh man, he's kind of a piece of shit. Like, he's a lovable piece of shit. But like, he is a serial killer who likes to murder people. And he kind of has this whole thing with Kurt where he's like, you're just a sick psychopath who does this to satisfy an urge. Like, when he's on his table and he's like, that's what you're killing me for? He's like, buddy, look, like, and he kind of, without saying it, is like, look in the mirror, like, and you're not, and like, you kind of see this as like Dexter saying exactly what he's doing, but Dexter's kind of just using his moral high ground around his, like, he likes to kill. He doesn't mind killing. He wants to kill just because he wants to kill. The Code of Harry focused that in a good way. But at the end of the day, that he is a serial killer who needs to do it to satisfy his dark passenger, as he calls it. And you see Harrison kind of like dealing with it. But then by the end, his lady friend, she picks up on the fact that he's probably the Bay Harbor Butcher, which from season 2, that's what Dokes gets framed for. Like, he basically pins that on Dokes because they find all his dismembered bodies in the ocean, like a diver finds them, and like they start bringing up all the people, and that's what the whole second season is about. And she starts putting it together because he used the same thing. He uses fentanyl and he like injects it into people. And he did that on 2 guys and he got sloppy. And then what's her name? Angela, I think is her name. The police chief just starts to unravel it and she's like slowly starting to be like.
So she gets him on
So
everything.
she finds out. She's like, you're the Bay Harbor Butcher. I know you are. I don't think I'm going to be able to get you on
So why does she know
Call.
about this case?
Because she
That's
went
in Miami.
So she went to. It was interesting. She's going to this Matt Caldwell, the guy he kills, the Kurt's son. Once they're searching the forest for them, but like as soon as they're about to get to this one spot, Kurt goes like, "I found him. He's alive. We know he's dead, obviously." But Kurt's, because he doesn't want the search party to search this one area where he's been killing these women. So he's like, "Oh, he's fine. He's staying in this hotel in I can't remember which city." Here's the credit card receipts, and she's like, "Fuck that! I'm gonna go talk to him. He just made us look for him for like 3 weeks." So she goes to the city, and then while she's there, she's like, "Oh, there's like a cop conference there." An Angel, and like she's like, "I'm gonna." It's a little bit like, but they are in New York, and she's like, "Oh, it's a police chief's like ball, like something like that, like conference." And like she goes there, and Angel Batista is speaking, who is from the original series. It's one of his one of his coworkers at the precinct. Okay. And she starts talking. And Harrison, by the way, had just kind of showed up in town. Like he had never told her about Harrison and all that stuff. And he goes and she's talking to him about like the Bay Harbor Butcher case for some reason. Or no, she's talking. He somehow gets on the topic of that time, and then he's like, "Yeah, there was a guy that also died during that time too. It was really sad. One of my friends, Dexter. He had a son too." Harrison, I think was his name. And she was like, "How long ago did he disappear?" And she was like, "It's like 10 years old, about 10 years ago." And then that kind of starts to unravel, and she starts looking into.
Is Harrison still using his real last name?
Yeah, because he just they went to like Brazil, I think, or something like that, or Argentina. So he didn't really need to change like his anything, and he was just living with Hannah. But yeah, and then by the end, she's figuring it out, and then but like to get out of it, Dexter so he's in jail. And like he's in their prison, not prison, but their jail. And he finally the chief has been looking for Kurt as the serial killer forever, and she didn't realize it because like she has this whole case of like board of like missing girls who have gone missing in her town, and she's been trying to figure it out forever. And Dexter's like, "All right, listen, you got me." basically. But if you go to Kirk Caldwell's fucking cabin, go out front, there's like a manhole, and he's literally got all his victims like lined up like porcelain dolls in like boxes that he has killed. All these women he's killed throughout the years, and she like freaks out. But in that time, Dexter kills this guy, one of the coolest guys in the series, Logan, who's like this a police officer, totally innocent dude, and kills him to get out. And he gets to Harrison, and Harrison's like, "Whose blood is that?" And then he's like, "Oh well, it's Coach Logan. You know, I did what I had to do." And the whole point, Harrison's like, "Well, you told me that we only kill to protect innocent people. We only kill," like he was an innocent person. And he was like, "Well, he didn't cooperate." And then Harrison kind of has this whole unraveling of like, "No, you're the reason my life sucks. Like this is what," like he knows about his mom being killed by Trinity Killer, and he's like, "Why is mom dead because of you? It's all like, is Aunt Deb dead because?" And he starts naming all these people, and he's like, "You're the issue." And Dexter kind of has this realization of like, and you get these flashes to like the innocent. Again, you kind of forget all of the innocent people he has killed like throughout the series.
Okay.
Like, and I kind of like here
So
and
it's
there.
not like everyone he's killed like kind of had it coming.
Usually it was because it was either because they were like part of his like ritual, he's going to kill them because they're a bad person, or they were going to find him out. So he kills like Maria LaGuerta, who is one of the captains of the police. He kills Dokes, obviously he frames him for the Bay Harbor Butcher murders. And there's a few other people like that just, what's her name? His wife dies basically because of him, Rita, because at the end of season 4, he's like, "Oh, I don't need to do this," and he doesn't kill Trinity, but then Trinity comes and kills Rita. And that's how Harrison has basically kind of the exact same traumatic event at the early in his life. Like he watches Trinity slice his mom's throat and just let blood pour everywhere. And that's why he's kind of fucked up. But again, he's not fucked up in the same way Dexter is. He seems to have emotions and like actual attachments, whereas Dexter kind of had to fake all that for the most part. Like he generally doesn't have any feelings. He kind of liked people to a degree, but like he was a full, all blown, like he doesn't feel emotion. And at the end, there's this kind of really beautiful moment. So at the end, he kind of comes and is like, "You have to shoot me, Harrison." Like, so Harrison ends up shooting and killing Dexter.
Why?
So he can get away. Because if he
so
lives,
get away?
Harrison, because he would be implemented in some of these things. So like to make it look like he was actually not part of it after he found out that
he just killed him.
Yeah. Once the cop showed up, it looked like he had killed him in self-defense.
Oh.
Like he or he was trying to run, or like, because he kills the guy Logan that he kills at the precinct is Harrison's like coach at the high school, and he's like that's kind of when the unraveling happens. He's like, "What the fuck? Like you aren't a good person. You're trying to mask this. This is all your fault. Like you are the death." And then Dexter kind of has this like realization. He's like, "You're right. It has to end like this." And like Michael C. Hall gives it his fucking all, man. It's such a good scene, and it just culminated in a way that I wanted to see it happen, and that you couldn't have done at the time.
This was the Halo Infinite DLC.
It was. It was. It really did. Like it really kind of shut the book on Dexter in a way that people wanted back in the day, and it sucks we had to wait 10 years for it, and it was an obvious money grab reasoning, but like, listen, it got us back the original showrunner to give us the guy who ran the show for the first 4 seasons came back to do this last season.
Oh, okay,
and
cool.
you feel it. You
nice.
do. Like, you really do.
So, to me, I was kind of going to compare it in a way to Breaking Bad and El Camino, but it seems like not the same thing and a much better outcome.
It really is.
Because I feel like El Camino didn't really do anything for Breaking Bad.
No, that just felt like an extra episode.
Right.
Like a kind of wrap up.
And even like Better Call Saul is like its own thing.
Absolutely.
And it doesn't really do anything to Breaking Bad or like try to enhance it.
Not at all.
Yeah, well, I'm glad the final season was good. I'm glad it kind of like redeemed the show.
I really feel like it's like, if you're a Dexter fan, even if you only watched up to the first, 4 seasons, 5 seasons, look up a recap on season 7 just to kind of get yourself a little bit like settled in, and then watch this, because did
they hit 100 episodes or no?
I don't think so. With 7 times, I assume 12 at the most, so they might have. Yeah, I think they probably did. I can't remember how many episodes are in each season, though.
Yeah, I'm just curious.
Yeah, it probably did. But, overall, man, Michael C. Hall, was great to see him back in the role. It felt like a glove fitting right back on the hand. Like, he really, he kills it. Just the way the little interactions with people and kind of how, like...
Pun intended.
Yeah, the way he does kind of go chameleon. Like, when he's around people in the show, you feel that difference in character, and you feel like that he's not being himself. and he's kind of like a little stilted and a little like.
Was there like a fan want for this? Like the
so this was the
level?
plan for this was like the plan literally when they finished it.
No fucking way.
They literally were talking about that's the reason they didn't kill him at the end. Because they wanted to bring him back at some point for like a follow-up series.
Wild.
So this was generally
that's like some like Kojima or like Kingdom Hearts level.
And listen, I think people were
right.
rightly.
Yeah, I've had this. We've had this planned.
I guess. Do I think they could have ended it in a satisfying way by the end of season 7? Maybe not, because they had just kind of screwed the pooch in so many ways with so many story choices. But I think this is a very good. Maybe you could call it apology. Maybe you could call it redemption for this series. And listen, we can't say the last season of Dexter sucks anymore. I mean, I guess you can technically say that this new series is like its own thing. But like,
that's kind of nice because like that's all I hear about that shit.
No, I know, and it's the number one thing.
Is that last season is trash.
And it sucks because that first season of Dexter, I think, might be my favorite season of TV ever so far. Like my top, like the top tier.
Watchmen. For me.
Yeah. No, yeah. I don't know. It was great. So I couldn't imagine watching it. I couldn't have watching it at the time was probably so cool and so interesting. But like,
did you watch it in high school?
Yeah, but it was like once it was done. Like I think all the 7, all 7 seasons were on there. So I just kind of went through it. But I like, especially the first couple seasons, mainlined those. They were so good.
I like have to spread shows out. I can't just do that.
No, it's I think
the only time I've ever binged something, I watched the Walking Dead season 1 in one night.
Jesus.
With my dad.
Oh my God. How many episodes is that?
6.
I guess then they're like 45 minutes long each, probably.
No, like a full hour.
Well, no, they have
at that point.
Well, they have commercials, so they were
that
only
first episode is like an hour and a half.
Sure. Oh well, if it's an hour and a half on, that's probably an hour on TV then. If it's like. Because you gotta think of
I had it on DVD.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, this is like before.
I got you.
Netflix. This is like I think I was like a sophomore in high school, maybe. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah, but man, Harrison was great. Just the closure between him and Dexter worked very well, and I don't want to I guess like Harrison gets away and he's like
and he rides off into the sunset.
He kind of rides off into the sunset and well kind of because he has to leave the town and like the chief pulls up and he kind of pulls up like and she's like just here's money, get out of here, like you've already been through enough, like get out of here. I unfortunately can't say goodbye to anyone, but yeah, it's interesting to see like because by the end of the 7th season Dexter finds out that Harry actually got this code of Harry from this psychologist who, like, again, it kind of retroacts, like, it changes things that I don't like. Like, it turns into this thing that this psychologist apparently gave Harry to teach Dexter because she had, like, a serial killer son who went off the rails and he ends up killing Deb in the 7th season.
Like, the code?
Yeah, like, in a way that just didn't ring well for me and like kind of takes a lot out of certain things. I almost kind of don't even like it's kind of like blocked out of my mind.
Yeah,
you know? So like that's kind of sad. But like
any other dislikes?
I'm trying to think. No, I mean overall I just really enjoyed it. I like there was one episode that felt like a bit fillery near the end, maybe the 7th or 8th episode. But overall, man, the performances, the location, the narrative itself, it just is. It's what I wanted from a season 7 of Dexter. It is. It's that closure that I wanted for a character that I liked a lot and that I think is ingrained in the zeitgeist to a degree. I mean, when you see a room wrapped in plastic, people I feel like will know a lot, but maybe they don't. I don't know. But I got to give Michael C. Hall credit. Even I can't remember the woman who plays Deb. Comes back as like I said, like his kind of inner monologue that he talks to. She's amazing. Even the newer characters, like they could easily fall short and be very forgettable and people I don't care about, but they weren't. Like I said, like I was sad when he killed Logan, like when he killed that police officer, because they had built him up as a really again, speaking to Dexter being kind of a shitty person, like 5 minutes before that, Dexter goes, "You're a good guy, Logan. You're good." And like he means it, but he's still ready to kill him if he needs to get away. And that's the thing. Dexter kills everything he touches, unfortunately. But Gooch, watch it. watch these. I know you won't, but no, I know.
Nah, I see. Yeah, it's like one of those shows. I'm just like,
it's too far. It's a bit too far gone. That's the thing. I'm curious how many new people jumped into this.
Yeah, right.
Like I would be
who just watched,
just went right balls deep.
Did they release it on their platform? Or?
Yeah, it's like Showtime streaming or whatever.
That's funny how like that's it. So like, is HBO even like a channel anymore?
Yeah, but you don't get HBO Max if you have the channel, which is weird. Super told me that. Yeah, they don't have. Yeah, they have
really?
It's part of their package.
So
but
like, they didn't air the Snyder Cut on the channel. They just like it's just on HBO Max.
Oh, I bet that's. I'd be curious. I think they're probably able to run it on like their TV show if they wanted to, but I don't think they're running a 4-hour.
It's funny how like HBO is like, it's not like a channel anymore. Like,
yeah, I mean it is. It's
like, and I guess like Showtime and Paramount and Stars, they're all kind of like the same way.
Yeah,
now.
Stars is floundering though bad. I know.
Oh, well, I think both those Stars and I mean Showtime and Paramount, I feel like they have like
Showtime I get free with my Spotify subscription.
They have like 2 or 3 like shows that people know about. Like Shameless, I think is Stars show.
I think that's Showtime.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I thought it was, but I
like
could be
that's
wrong.
the one. Like that's I know people have that for that.
Sure. Yeah, Gooch, I loved it. I did. I just. It's what I needed. And every week, from week to week, I was like, Dexter, let's go. Like I couldn't.
On Sundays.
Yeah, it was released every Sunday, and dude, it's a great feeling to have a like. It sucks that I couldn't watch it all at once, but that feeling of having a show you're excited for every week is a tough feeling to beat. And it's sad that it's gone, and it's sad that Dexter is fully over, but he got the ending he deserved. So did Harrison.
And that's what matters, man.
That's what matters. But I think that's all I got to say. Do you have any other questions?
No.
Well, guys, thank you so much.
You're very well spoken about it.
I appreciate it. Well, guys, thank you so much for watching with us live on twitch.tv/Delco Nerd Network. I very much appreciate you joining us. Scooch does as well. You can find this podcast anywhere podcasts are found. Just search Delco Nerd Network. We're on the social medias as well, at Delco Nerds on most things. We got a Facebook page. We got a Discord channel. We have a website, delconerdnetwork.com. You can even email us, delconerds at, yeah. Is it Delco Nerd Network? I'm already...
Delco Nerds.
Yeah, it's delconerds@gmail.com with your comments, questions, or concerns. We'd be happy to get back to you. Drop us a review wherever you're watching. It really helps, especially on Spotify. They just added those in, and it kind of pushes us up on the algorithm or however that fucking works. So it's a lot of help. But I think that does it. For Gooch, I've been Trio. Thanks for watching, guys. Stay nerdy, and we will see you next time.